Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. We got Joe Rogan being there. I've never heard him talk like this before about a person. Not even Gavin Newsom. I can't think of him. Not Carlos Mencia. No one. He's calling Justin Trudeau an F-head and a sea-sucker. Fill in the blanks, people. Jeez, Joe Rogan letting loose on Justin Trudeau right now. Then he also talks about Jordan Peterson's re-education process. If you don't know, Jordan Peterson has to go through this weird communist-like re-education because he criticized the Canadian government. So in my research, I wanted to get into that a little bit, and it turns out that he's actually spoken about that alongside his daughter, Michaela, and he says he's planning on recording the entire thing. So Joe Rogan talks about Justin Trudeau and Jordan Peterson. We're going to jump over to some Jordan Peterson stuff afterwards, and then discuss Canada coming together with the United States of America. Let's get into it.
Up there, they don't have a First Amendment. They have different laws. They have hate speech laws.
And I've spent my whole life in the northern tier states, but I've remained somewhat oblivious to political movements in Canada.
Well, they don't have free speech up there. They don't have a First Amendment. They have different laws. They have hate speech laws, which are very dangerous because who defines hate speech?
Yeah.
You know, like, so hate speech laws in Canada, they refer to gender pronouns now. So, like, not just male, female. Like, if a guy, like, if Caitlyn Jenner decides that she's a girl, like, Bruce Jenner decides he's a girl, now you have to call him Caitlyn. If you don't, that's hate speech. Like, okay, maybe that's debatable. Maybe. But no, they want, like, all 78 fake genders, like Z, Zer, and all these crazy fake ones, and they, thems. And
well, that's where, like, that's, I mean, isn't that conversation what spawned kind of the ascendancy of Jordan Peterson,
100%.
right? Coming out of Canada.
Well, that's how Jordan and I became friends.
Yeah.
In 2015. And then Jordan did my podcast, and then Jordan became a famous guy for speaking out against this.
Yeah.
He's going through some sort of bizarre re-education process in Canada, and he's going to publicize it because it's so ludicrous. So they want to educate him on like what he talks about on social media if he wants to keep his clinical license to practice as a psychotherapist.
Oh, is that right?
But he doesn't want to practice anyway. He makes far more money doing what they've essentially made a monster. They made him way more famous than he ever would have been before.
Yeah.
They highlighted all of Canada's problems way more than would ever get highlighted without this persecution of this guy. It's kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
So he's going through it. He's like, "Fuck you! I'll go through it, and I'll go through it publicly. You guys are idiots." Also,
knowing what the
me.
outcome will be.
Well, knowing he's going to trounce them. Like, good luck debating that guy.
Yeah.
Good luck. Like, good luck. Like, who do you got on your side that's going to go up against that guy? Like, shut the up. Who on your creepy, authoritarian, totalitarian regime is going to stand up and make sense competing against Jordan Peterson? Good luck.
I wouldn't want the job.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck debating that guy. It's just the whole situation up there is just like so. And I don't know too much about that Pierre Polivet guy, but I hope that, you know, there's some sort of meaningful change up there that could bring. I used to love Canada. I used to say Canada is like America, but with like 20% less douchebags. They were so friendly. They're so nice. I used to love going to Montreal. I used to love going to Vancouver. I loved it up there. But the woke hit there so hard because they don't have freedom of speech. They don't have a First Amendment. So when they start clamping down on your ability to express yourself, like, there's really disastrous implications.
Yeah. But there will probably be a course correction now, which it seems like just generally on free speech issues, there's a radical course correction right now.
Sure. Or you become Iran.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
you roll
like,
that way.
Yeah. I mean, course correction doesn't always work. Like, you know, we think it works because it works in America. And it works in America because we have the First Amendment and we have the Second Amendment. And those two things work together. And if we didn't have those things, we would be genuinely because every government wants to eventually completely and totally control its population because it's way easier for them to make money. And that's what they like to do.
Yeah.
They like to make money. They like to be in bed with the lobbyists in the military-industrial complex and the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, and they like to impose their will on people. And if you can't express yourself and say, hey, this is up, this is crazy, why am I doing this? Like, these studies show that you're not correct. Like, if you can't say all those things, which right now you can't do in Canada, it's not the same. Like, their ability to express themselves on the internet has been severely limited. It's real weird, man. It's real weird, and it's happening right. You could walk there. If you wanted to, you could walk there. And it's like it's on the same patch of land as us, and it just shows you what can happen here if you don't have the right laws. Because people like that head, Justin, they pretend
You guys
that
are on first name basis.
yeah, that sucker. They pretend that they're, and I don't talk this way about anybody.
No, I'm really surprised.
I genuinely despise people like that. And I think it's good to say it publicly because people need to understand like what these people are doing. These people are leading you on the road to legitimate communism. Like he's leading that country on a road to legitimate communism. It's very dangerous. And I think most Canadians are fed up with it at this point. It's just like the party up there has so much control. And he's been forced to resign. So he's got to step down. And just hopefully they don't get some new slick talker to con them into the same old bull. Hopefully someone comes along that has like real meaningful change.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm hoping is going to happen in America too. If that Tim Walz sucker, if that guy got into power, like if Kamala died and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, was our president, you know how crazy this country would be? That weirdo who puts tampons in the boys' room. And what about our joy? Like he's a complete pathological liar. Like a complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square. Lied about being a head coach of a football team.
I thought some of that was just weird and how avoidable it was.
100% avoidable, but pathological liars. People that are habitual liars. They just lie all the time about everything.
But there's a way you can do it where it's sort of like no one's ever going to know. And there's things you can fib about that are just that you find out in 5 seconds. So you wonder about making the call to embellish something that a person could answer on their phone.
right. Instantly.
Like almost as you're saying it.
Yeah. That's not true. No, this was your rank in the military.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't deploy for war. You didn't. Why are you saying you deployed at war? The weapons you used in war? No. You were in war. Like, oh, you were a head coach? No, you weren't a head coach. You were the water boy.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about?
I thought some of that was weird.
Well, he's just a liar. But that's what a lot of these people are. They're just actors who are ugly. And they're like, well, I can't really make it in show business. And I want a lot of attention. And I want to be a special person. So I'll do politics. I'm good at bull.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, they're trusting. They're like, oh, he's saying the right things. If you say the right things, abracadabra. And then next thing you know, you're a governor.
Yeah. You ever going to run for governor of Texas?
No. I'm not running for nothing. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a goddamn thing.
I could picture down the road, man, you might be like, I want to be governor of Texas.
That. Why would I do that? I have the best job in the world. I get to talk, zero responsibilities. If I get something wrong, I go, listen, I'm a moron. Why are you listening to me in the first place? No, I have no desire in any way, shape, or form to have anything to do with anything involving politics. Or I don't want to be in control of it. I don't even like having employees. Jamie's awesome. But I mean, I don't like having employees.
He nodded.
But he's just great. He's easy. Like that's why there's so few of us here. Like I have a friend who has a podcast, a big podcast, and he has like 13 people working for him. People running around with clipboards. I'm like, what do these people do?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have so many people working for you? Like this doesn't freak you out. And he's always got like inter-office conflicts, and people are getting fired because people are fighting with each other, and people fighting over like promotions and trying to get to like backstabbing each other, and like, ugh.
Yeah, maybe you wouldn't like being governor.
That I would hate it. I don't want to be a mayor. I don't want to be nothing. I don't want to be nothing. But I did get some sort of
not even a mayor.
No, I don't want to be a city councilman. I don't want to be I don't want to be. I don't like the whole thing about it. It's just it's not a good gig. It's just it's a creepy business. It's a very creepy and prostitutional business. It's just I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the impetus that pushes people into it is that they want to reverse that, but I think that then there's a magnetic pull that takes you in the direction of being perhaps what you wanted to get rid of.
It seems like it happens to a lot of the like really idealistic young people that get involved in it, and then all of a sudden they start doing really well in the stock market, and
they make some good bets.
Yeah, they used to be making $28,000 a year. Now all of a sudden they're worth $12 million. And now they're worth $20 million, and they're hanging out with a bunch of other people that are going on yachts on vacations. I'm like, I'm not going on a yacht on vacation.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I want a Mercedes, and then they get you. They slowly get you. Evan Hafer.
Yeah.
Evan Hafer had a great saying. Well, I've been repeating it a lot, too much lately for people to listen to this podcast. But he said, "Psychology is more contagious than the flu." I was like, "Ooh, that's so true."
Oh. I mean, like ideas in psychology.
Yeah, well, being around people and the way they
I'm
think.
with you. Yeah, you absorb the way they think.
Yeah. If you're around people that are just trying to have a good time, that are nice people, genuinely you lean in that direction.
Yeah.
Like I try to spread that. I want everybody to have fun. Like, let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, if you're around a bunch of creeps that are just trying to climb the ladder and claw their way into power, like, ugh.
Yeah.
How do you maintain your sovereignty?
Yeah, that kind of psychological infection.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck battling it out with 460 other creeps who show up in D.C. and lie. Yuck. Although I did get like a bizarre, I did enjoy affecting the election.
Dude, imagine. I can imagine.
I did enjoy it because I didn't want to. I did not want to get involved in any way, shape, or form. But it got so weird.
Yeah,
crazy.
you'd express that publicly in the past.
I was like, I don't want to have nothing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it in the future. I didn't want to. I just felt sucked into it. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, we can't do this again. We can't do it with these same people that us for 4 years, and then they're gonna we're gonna do it differently now. Like what's going on? Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California, but
I missed that last part. Usually, I try to go over the clips. I used to try to skim through it before I sit down with you guys here, but I didn't. I missed him saying I enjoyed affecting the election. Interesting. He's like, yeah, why would I be a mayor or a governor or anything like that when I can just sway elections? Joe's turning into Mark Zuckerberg. But we all know Mark had nothing to do with swaying any elections. Come on. Let's not go down that path. He's changed. He wears a gold chain now, has curly hair, looks nice, no? Yeah. I was going to say, I hope Trump does put him in jail, but I don't hope Trump puts him in jail. You don't really wish jail on people, but I don't know. But also, it's good what Mark Zuckerberg's doing, because it's like, if all of a sudden that affects Google, and then that affects X even more, and that affects the next platform that comes along, and it starts becoming the norm, especially if administrations start learning, these guys can just rat us out. Like, that's a good thing, too. You know what I mean? At the very, even if you don't like Mark Zuckerberg, at least you can look at him and be like, well, he ratted on these guys. Good. So at least going forward, they know, we can get ratted on and it'll look really bad for us. You know what I mean? But I mean, a lot of people aren't really thinking about that part at all. They're not looking at him like he ratted anybody out. They look like he's just covering for himself. And he is. Of course he is. But he still ratted these guys out. Like, someone needs to do that. Can you imagine? Like, we need more whistleblowers in these organizations to come forward. You know what I mean? I was told to do this to Coach Colin's account. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. How happy I'd be. And terrified at the same time. But Joe Rogan enjoyed affecting the election. One thing he brought up was maintaining sovereignty. How do you maintain your sovereignty? Man, I think about that all the time. Do you guys think about that? That's a concept I did not think about until I started doing this podcast. Until I started doing this podcast, I never thought about sovereignty. Well, I mean, during the pandemic as well, I started to learn about the concept. And it's rough. It's rough. Try and maintain that. The whole soul not for sale and sovereignty and maintaining it and keeping it and not letting it be pushed and pulled and torn by other people. That's so important. So important. And, everybody does it their own way, but you got to do it. And imagine Joe as a governor. I think, and you guys know I love Joe, terrible governor. Hey, horrible mayor. Just saying. Great podcaster, fantastic podcaster. Terrible governor. Oh, it would be bad. I'm sure he would do some good things, but I mean, he would be extremely bad. Now, let's just jump into this clip here with what it would look like if Jordan Peterson actually had to sit down for this re-education process given to you by JP Sears.
Hi, Jordan Peterson. Welcome to your first day of social media re-education training. I'm your teacher. My name is Mr. Michaels.
Hey, Mick. How are you doing?
I'm good, but it's Mr. Michaels to you. Jordan, do you know why you're here?
I've been thinking about it this morning.
And why did the Canadian College of Psychology determine you need to be here?
Apparently, the college has the right to decide that I can be re-educated forcibly with the risk of my license, essentially because I made political statements that the members of the college don't agree with.
Yeah, pretty much. And obviously you have freedom of speech. But what did you say that you weren't free to say? You need to admit what you did wrong before your mind can be reprogrammed. What criticisms did you say, Jordan? Just admit it. It'll set you free.
2 criticisms of Justin Trudeau, 1 criticism of his chief of staff, 1 criticism of an Ottawa city councillor, and then my objection on Joe Rogan to the climate apocalyptic fear-mongering that idiot tyrants are foisting on the general population.
They're not idiots, but yes.
Now, apparently that makes me unprofessional.
It certainly does.
And a disgrace to the profession.
That's right. You are a disgrace to the profession. You should be ashamed of yourself. And because you're a disgrace, the court decided to
put me into a re-education program with their so-called social media experts.
That's me.
And that's also, by the way, a profession that does not exist.
That's kind of insulting to me. I like to think of myself as quite the social media expert. I don't mean to brag, but I've amassed a following of several thousand people. And all you've ever done is gain a following of about 10 million people. So I think we know who the expert here is, Jordan.
Maybe you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm the expert here. You have to acknowledge you're here to learn from me, mister. It's a rule.
That's a rule, is it?
Yes, it's a rule.
That's a rule.
Yes, but you're...
Well, but what? What rules? There's what? There's a rule, eh? There's a rule. Is that right?
Yes, I'm trying to tell you the rules.
You know, fair enough, kid.
Don't call me kid. That's disrespectful. I'm your teacher that you're here to learn from.
Just exactly what the hell are you saying?
I want you to respect me.
Fancy that.
You have to respect me.
How pathetic can you get?
Respect me. I'm the authority here.
Who is stupid enough to think that?
I am. I'm not stupid.
There is really something wrong with you.
No, there's not.
I'm not wrong.
You are too wrong.
This is how it's going to go, guys. This is exactly how it's going to go. I think that's exactly how it's going to go. It's either going to be that or this person's going to sit down with Jordan Peterson and they are going to slowly, they're going to step into the room woke, ready to do re-education, and they're going to leave this whole process being so conservative. It's going to be crazy. That's what's going to happen. They're going to walk in there as AOC and they're going to leave as Thomas Sowell. And you're going to be like, what happened to this guy? That's what's going to happen 100%. Now, of course, this is just a sketch by JP, of course, accurate as it may be, but let's actually hear from Jordan Peterson and what he has to say in regards to what is going to happen during this whole process with his daughter Michaela there.
Yep.
So what's happening?
Okay. So I'm supposed to contact my re-educator.
Yeah.
That's on me.
And they couldn't find one initially.
That's right. We asked, first of all, they sent me the information pertaining to my re-educator, but they redacted all the contact information and the name. So that wasn't helpful. So my lawyers reached out and said, well, why don't you tell us who it is so that we can contact them, since that's our obligation? And they wrote back and said, well, there's a delay. And then we said, yeah, like, what's the delay? And they said, well, we can't find anyone because you've been so mean to everyone. You scared them away.
That's why it was redacted, because there just wasn't one?
No, I don't know why it was redacted to begin with.
Okay.
I think it might have been redacted to begin with. I don't know why the hell it was redacted. To protect them from my evil or something.
Even though you have to contact them.
Yes.
I bet it's because they couldn't find
anybody. So then they said, okay, well, you can't contact them. So then they found someone who I think is located in the UK. So, and I said, and then they said, you can't contact them. And not only can you not contact them, even though the rule is that I have to contact them, I can't contact them directly. I have to meet them in a law office downtown, some law office that isn't affiliated with the college. So like, what the hell's up with that?
Yeah.
In a law office, right? And it has to be in person. Now, I knew they were going to do that because they know I tour all the time. And so their goal is to take my license, right? They never thought I'd go through with the re-education. They didn't plan that well because they can't think and they can't plan. And so, and they don't think and they don't plan. And so I put them in an awkward position, you might say, by agreeing to their punishment. So anyways, hypothetically, they found someone who has no clinical experience and who's never done anything like this before, by the way, and who I think is just stepping into a pit of snakes because I don't think he knows what is actually going on. So that'll be interesting. Now, they told me I had to do it in person, right? But I can't record it. Now, I think I can record it because I have the right to record it, and one way or another, I'm going to record it. So they said, you can't record it, it can't be public. Now, the reason these things are done in private is to protect the person who's being investigated.
It's to protect you.
Yeah, it's to protect me. But I told them explicitly, I don't want the protection. What I want for protection is that every single bloody bit of this be made 100% public. And that is going to happen. That's going to happen. So, anyways, I have to go to this law office downtown, and they'll have a court reporter there to make a transcript. But I don't get to have the transcript unless I agree not to make it public. So we wrote them back and said, you can't just change your own rules. The rules are that I have to contact them. And no. Like, no. Who's hiding something here? Not me. Because as far as I'm concerned, every bit of this can be public. Who's hiding something? Well, I guess it's you, since you won't allow me to make the transcript public. Well, we're protecting the re-educator. It's like, no, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. That wasn't the reason for the privacy to begin with. So, no. So,
wow.
Now we have to hear from them.
Okay.
And who knows what they'll do? I mean, I don't know what they'll do.
When is this Bill 63?
Oh,
is that what it's called?
It's
Bill
Bill
C-63?
C-63. It's creaking its way through the parliamentary process now,
So
but it's
this-
already gone through first reading.
But this re-education is going to happen before that bill's passed,
who
right?
knows?
Because you're not going back into Canada to do that after that bill is passed.
Yeah, well, that's a problem.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I don't trust these
no,
countries.
No, it's definitely the case that if Bill C-63 passed,
You'd be in so much trouble.
Oh, my life would be unlivable in Canada because like 50 activists would weaponize it instantly. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. And so if
Man, let me tell you something, okay? Canada, any Canadians out there? You know, I got a little Canadian audience. I see like 7%. My buddy out in Canada, he told me that his aunt, 77, she watches the podcast. If you're out there, thank you, ma'am. From the Johnson family, thank you so much. But man, this is what happens if you guys join. You join the US. Guess what happens? You guys don't have to go through this weird online hate speech weirdness that you guys are going on. Any bill that's been passed for Canadians, gone, because you get the First Amendment, Second Amendment. If need be, it's always there. It's in a glass case, just in case. It's right there. You just bang, you do what you got to do. But you get the First Amendment. So those laws wouldn't be able to stand if you joined up with a country and became a state of the country that has the First Amendment. That's it. It's all gone. All that not seeing the news, all that nonsense, you know? And then we just send you the same message that we send everybody from California. Don't move into other places and mess everything up with your weird ways of voting. You know? That's it. I'm just saying. And then also all these politicians, all these soft politicians you guys got, they're all fired. They're all done. They work at like Canada DMV and stuff. Yeah, they sort it out. They're done. They're done. They all lose jobs. Because those Justin Trudeau's not going to Washington. You know what I mean? Do you know what happened to Justin Trudeau in Washington? You understand? He met with Trump once and resigned. That guy would be getting punked by Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham would be like, hey, boy, hey, you ever met a senator before, boy? Huh? You got any money? Start patting his pockets and stuff. You got any money? Huh? How much you got? No one comes in here without giving me some money. What you got, boy? Come here. You soft. I should grab you by your ankles. Come here. Come here. I like a handsome man. I'll tell you something. Get over here, boy. Start shaking him by his ankles. Next, you're going to be grabbing your ankles. You understand me, son? Allegedly. You know what I mean? No kids. Pretty old. No kids, no wife. I'm just saying. And Justin Trudeau, you know, allegedly, you know. Oh, man. He might end up making him his, we don't use those words on this. they might end up together. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? But all those politicians gone. There's a lot to be said. I'm just saying. There's a lot to be said. But let me not glaze over the fact that Jordan Peterson is very angry and he wants to record this whole process that he's going to have to go through. He seems very upset about the whole thing. And honestly, I'm not going to say I don't get it, because I do. But at the same time, at the very same time, he doesn't need this license. He could easily, like, when is the last time you have watched one of his videos, bought one of his books, or attended one of his events because he had a license in psychology? When's the last time you done it? You know, when's the last time you checked? I didn't even know he had one. I was like, don't they expire or something? I thought for sure he would have let it expire. He would have been like, oh, I made $60 million last year. I'm gonna let this thing expire. I don't need this thing. He's just going after it over principle. But it's like, when this country is on the road to communism, like Joe Rogan said, and I really don't know if Pierre's going to take it off that track. I really don't know. I've heard Pierre talk about don't deport anybody, and he's basically, don't want to sound any kind of way, but the same people who have made the UK what the UK is today, he's talking very nice to those people. Doesn't want to deport, doesn't want to send anybody away, wants more people. I'm just saying, UK is on the way to Canada. It's either go the way of America or go the way of UK. There's really not an in-between right now. There's just not. Jordan Peterson's in the United States as well. That's it. Just like that. He's like, I'm not going back. That's why they're talking about this online bill. You literally, if you've said a bunch of things that are disparaging, you could be in trouble. He's talking about people weaponizing it. That would be a real thing. Again, going the way of UK. A bunch of activists could be like, we're really upset about this whole thing. And they could actually weaponize that bill and get him put in jail possibly, or at the very least experience fines. It's ridiculous. Anyways, guys, let's just jump over here really quick, just because we're talking about this whole jumping over to the United States thing. Donald Trump is taking credit for Justin Trudeau's resigning, which I love.
Resigning, let's watch.
Fox News interrupted its broadcast to share part of the Prime Minister's announcement live as allies of Donald Trump welcomed Justin Trudeau's departure.
Well, down in the South, what we would say, Harris, is bless his heart. I think he sat down across the table from President-elect Donald Trump and said, you know, I don't think I'm qualified to handle this. And I think that that's why we're seeing him exit stage left.
The president-elect himself also taking credit for the resignation and again calling for Canada to become the 51st state. Writing on social media, the United States can no longer suffer the massive trade deficits and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariffs, taxes would go way down, and they would be totally secure. Together, what a great nation it would be.
You know something? To the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So,
who's this guy? Hey, and listen, I know who it is, but he's nothing like his brother, soft compared to his brother. Okay, Americans, you guys don't know this guy. This guy's brother was smoking crack and talking like a Jamaican person. It was crazy. That guy's brother was the amazing. Wish he was still around. But this guy, you're talking about, you're not in a, this is the thing. This guy would be out of a job. You're not in a position to buy a state. They don't get it, man. They're talking about buying states that have almost their population. You're not in the runnings to be buying things like that. We'll buy Alaska. No, we'll buy a couple of states too. What are you talking about? And you know where they're going to get the money from? They're going to get the money from America. If they don't get it from America, they're going to have to get it from China. What are we talking about here? Who is this guy? Don't let this guy talk anymore, Canada. It's ridiculous. But no, I know. I'm not undereducated, okay? I know it's Doug Ford. I know his brother was Rob Ford. I wish Rob was still around. He's the best. But yeah, Donald Trump is taking credit for him actually resigning, which you kind of, I don't think it's just the fact that Donald Trump was speaking on the whole situation. I think it's the fact of the tariffs, actually threatening the tariffs. He's going to go through with it. That whole thing is not what you want to deal with. You guys don't know, Justin Trudeau's second in command resigned before she had to present it was like some fiscal report. She didn't want to have to present it. Then the job went to somebody else. He resigned as soon as he got the job because he had to present it. Then Justin learns about tariffs and what's going on and the $100 billion, $200 billion. And Trump is like, why don't you become a state? And then he resigns. All three of those people know that something terrible is happening with Canada. The dollar's not doing well. It's an issue. It's an issue. And let me tell you something. For anybody watching, I get it. There's a lot of proud Canadians out there. I 100% understand. But this would be so good for the citizens. The only people it would be bad for is for the politicians because they'd be out of a job. Anyways, Jordan Peterson going through re-education. Canada facing Donald Trump screaming about you guys joining as the 51st state. Jordan Peterson's going through weird communist stuff, has to take re-education. And if a certain law passes, he won't even go back to the country. What are we talking about here? This place is in dire straits. And Joe Rogan has resorted to calling Justin Trudeau an F-head and a sea-sucker. Whoa. Canada's on hard times. Joe Rogan has boycotted Canada? What? Like he's Robert De Niro talking about leaving America? There's a lot going on, man. I don't know. I can't wait till you guys join up. I can't wait. I just can't wait. Alberta's going to be real happy because I'm pretty sure they already got firearms. Okay. They're just not telling people. It gets cold out there. You know, police aren't patrolling so much when there's 4 feet of snow. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I know all about Canada, guys. Anyways, just wanted to bring you that whole bunch of information. I really think it should happen, man. I really think it'd be great if it was the 51st state. You know, not just for Americans. I think for everybody it'd be good. I don't know about Mexico. I don't know. But I think together it would just be and then Greenland on top of that, it would be just such a powerhouse. And that's what you need right now. With Russia, you know, cozying up to China and the whole BRICS thing happening there, it's like you need to get together once again, you know, then hopefully save the UK because, you know, the UK, it's like, there's just so much going on in the world right now that, you know, getting some security in regards to just one giant nation under God would be a really good thing. And then America won't let Canada go the way of UK. And then all of that stuff will stop, you know? Can only take call to prayer so many times. You know what? Not even going to get into it. Anyways, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps the channel tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.